Coach Danny here, Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I got an update to the House of Glory tournament coming up August 12th for the adults, August 13th for the kids. But before I get into the update, I want to tell you guys what I did this weekend. I think you find it interesting. My training this last month has been good, so I decided to sign up for the ADCC in Dallas. So I flew out Saturday, fought there a few matches. Then that night, flew out back to Indianapolis so I can fight with the team at the IBJJF Open in Indy. Fought there a few matches. Now, how I did is irrelevant. The point of my trip was to feel for myself and see for myself the difference between competing at the ADCC rule set versus the IBJJF rule set. And oh my God, hands down, my experience with the ADCC was excellent, and I need to share it with you. First, let me preface by saying I am not making a video right now where I'm critiquing and bashing the IBJJF. That's not what this is. I love the IBJJF. They are definitely the gold standard for our sport. They've done amazing things for us to spread our sport throughout the planet, and no one can take that away from that organization. They're doing amazing things, and they will probably continue to do amazing things. This is simply a critique of the rule set. Does the rule set between A and B make a difference to the tempo and the outcome of the match? My analysis says 100% yes. I'm going to give you guys 3 clear examples. I have others, but the 3 big ones I'm going to present right now make you see the difference between A and B. Example number 1, my first match at ADCC, as well as my last match on Sunday at Indy at IBJJF, ended the exact same way, where I pulled guard, because I love pulling guard, tried to get under my opponent, tried to find a sweep, tried to find a submission, and at the end, nothing happened. He didn't pass my guard, and I didn't get my sweep or submission. So it ended in a draw. ADCC says, draw, no problem. Stand back up, now have an instant 2.5 minute overtime, and you cannot pull guard. If you pull guard, you're penalized. So now you're forced to wrestle, right? And in that match, I outworked my opponent and ended up getting the victory. On Sunday, exact same scenario, the draw, they stood us up, and within 3 seconds, the ref raised the other guy's hand. I don't know why he raised his hand. I thought I worked him from bottom. He didn't pass my guard. He didn't really initiate. He didn't really do anything except kind of frame. And just because he ends up on top of the match, he gets the victory. I don't understand that. I'm not a sore loser. I'm just pointing out that I like the fact that I got a chance to redeem my guard pull and stand back up and fight in the overtime. That's, to me, a clear example of how the ADCC rule set in this fashion is superior. Example number 2. I watched with my eyes on Sunday. Something very interesting happened. You know, all the mats have a ring that, you know, surrounded by an outer bounce, right? And then this mat that day was yellow. So in my eyes, I saw, as I'm coaching my guys on Sunday, one of my guys got a clear takedown, single leg takedown on the left, single leg takedown on the right, but they landed on the yellow. In that match, the referee stopped the match, Paru, stands it back up, brings it back to the center, no advantage, no takedown score, and you now just keep fighting, right? At the exact same time, one of my guys is fighting to the right mat, as I'm coaching that one as well. What happens? He gets a clear double leg, but lands it again in the yellow. The referee stops the match, Paru, stands them back up, brings him to the center, scores 2 points to my guy for getting the double leg takedown, starts him in the center, standing again, keep fighting. As a side note, if you're going to score the 2 points, in my opinion, he should then stop the match and reset them in the center as they landed on the yellow, if you're going to score the 2 points. But he didn't. Instead, again, scored the 2 points, gave them, both of them stood up, and then match continues. Another 10 minutes later, again, same scenario, different mat. This time was mat number 3. One of my guys scores a takedown, but lands on the out of bounds on the yellow. They stop the match. Paru, stand back up. They score an advantage to the guy, my guy, for getting the takedown on the yellow, not at 2 points, and then stood him back in the center standing, and then they had to continue fighting. Do you see my point? These are 3 separate outcomes for the exact same situation. That cannot happen. I don't know why this exists. You could blame it on the referee. I don't even know which one was correct out of the 3, or if there's a 4th option. All I know is, how can this be in our sport that this out of bounds thing is so ambiguous that you end up with 3 different results? This destroys the tempo of the match. Quite frankly, I don't know how this can occur. ADCC on Saturday, they're fixed for the out of bounces. Of course, they have the same out of bounce, same border, but if there's action that happens to land on the out of bounce, they let the action continue until it plays out. For example, if I get a takedown and the guy's scrambling, they let me continue out of bounds until I get the takedown secure. Once the takedown secure and the 3 seconds is settled, then they stop the match, score the points for the takedown, bring them back to the center as they started. As the match continued, on the mat, hugging the legs, for example, and the match continues. This makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. They don't destroy the tempo of the match. Of course, they have her out of bounds. You got to have safety boundaries. That makes sense, of course. They don't have no boundaries, but they let the action continue if something were to take place until it stops. That's a good example of how the ADC's rule set, again, I think in my opinion, is superior. But by far my best example number 3. In my second match at IBJJF on Sunday, I pulled guard. Sorry, Shay. Sorry, Brian Beagle. I love pulling guard. It is what it is. And I was able to get under my opponent, trap his leg, and sweep and get on top. And when we ended, his right leg was wrapped around my body like this. So I started wrapping like I'm going to do an ankle lock, right? Now, I can live with the fact that I couldn't do heel hooks in this tournament. The Masters don't let you do heel hooks, even though it was accessible. No problem. I have no problem with that. Safety first. That's okay. I wrapped the ankle. I was going to attack. And then then my opponent decided to kind of turn a little to this angle. And as he did so, his other leg showed its face. So I decided to fall back on that leg, attack a very tight toe hold. I almost caught him. The guy had to scramble, kind of and got out. And then he wiggled out and he ended up on top. When this happened, the ref scored an advantage for me, which means they acknowledged my submission, because in IBJJF, in order to get a submission advantage, it has to be a legit submission, meaning the guy really defended, which he did. And then he ended up on top. And then they penalized me for going for this submission by giving him, in my opinion, 2 points. Again, I go for a submission. That's not a sweep. That's me attempting a submission. The guy then getting on top, getting out of the submission, and ends. He didn't really sweep me. It was me who initiated, and they score him 2 points. I don't think that's fair. If that exact same thing were to happen on Saturday ADCC, same scenario, same everything, they would not have given him 2 points for the sweep. They would have just simply, and there's no advantage in ADCC, which makes it so easy to score. They simply would have just let the match continue. No harm, no foul. I can live with that. And to me, that's another clear example, because what you're doing in my mind is you're penalizing me for going over the submission. Isn't that the essence of what I'm trying to do here? Isn't that the essence of our sport, try to get the finish? What would they rather have me do? Hold the guy's ankle, not attack the ankle lock, not do anything, just hug his legs and ride out the 2 minutes left on the clock? And then I would have won by 2-0? Is that what they rather have? I don't think that's good. And quite frankly, between these 3 examples, I think you're starting to see my point, that I saw with my eyes that the rule set of ADCC, as far as affecting the tempo and the outcome of the match, and as far as making a match more strategic and more fun, was much more entertaining and much more valuable with the ADCC rule set. Of course, this is my opinion. I'm not looking for a debate. This is just what I observed and what I experienced firsthand, and it is what it is. That being said, I'm bringing this up because we've decided that for the upcoming tournament here, the in-house tournament we're gonna have here, the House of Glory, August 12th, adult-only tournament, we're gonna do ADCC rule set across the board, meaning we're gonna run 4 mats, and all 4 mats are gonna have 3 things. They're gonna have a timer, and a person that flips the scorecard. There's also going to be someone sitting in the chair. That's technically the judge. And that judge's job is just to watch the match, study the match, and make sure that he scores the match properly. And then there's what I call a mat manager rather than a referee. He's going to be on the mat himself, making sure the athletes stay in bounds, making sure the athletes don't hit the walls of the academy. And most importantly, making sure that the athletes, when someone gets a submission, they stop the match immediately so nobody gets hurt. We will also use the ADCC weight classes and divisions, meaning there's going to be a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. We'll then use the back of the gym for all the athletes to sit there on the mat and just warm up, something you don't get at current tournaments. And we'll have a speaker system, or a good one, so when we just call your name, John Q, you're on mat 3, just get up, walk on mat 3, and boom, you're fighting. And we decided to keep the price at $85. And both days, Saturday for adults and kids on Sunday, are both going to be double elimination. And that's it. That's my update for today. I just want to say one more thing. The point of this tournament, especially the one on Saturday with the ADCC rule set, is to give the greater jiu-jitsu community in our area a chance to not only get a different venue, nothing wrong with the current venue, but you know what I mean, give you guys a different venue, but also have you guys try out this new rule set. I'm telling you, this rule set's exciting. It solves a lot of problems I saw on Sunday. And I really want you guys to experience what I experienced. You're gonna enjoy it. Most importantly, I'm not saying this because I'm getting paid by IDCC. I am not. But they did announce they're gonna come to Chicago in September, which means you can use the House of Glory tournament to come and learn this rule set, experience it firsthand. And if you like it and you're gonna see what I see, you're gonna enjoy it. Then you're gonna go see, I'm gonna go do the ADCC Chicago tournament. All right, that is it. August 12th adults, ADCC rule set. August 12th kids, no gi, IBJJF rule set. The registration link now is active and it's below. The ADC's rule set is now below. The IBJJF rule set for kids is also now below. Please click on those and read up on the rules. And if you forget the link, it's also on our website, thetroyjj.com. At the very top, it'll say House of Glory Tournament. You can click on that as well. This is Coach Danny. Next week, we'll give you guys a new update. For now, I'm out.